Hey, what's up? We're going to talk about what is actually working right now and how to get clients currently. We're going to talk about social media strategies that work, specifically LinkedIn. We're going to talk about partnership marketing. We're going to talk about videos and YouTube. All of these tactics are real tactics that we're seeing that is working from real people that are making money. Before we dive into tactics, you need to know where people are coming from and how people are finding you. So the best way to do that is Google Analytics. It actually has a free version. You can see acquisitions where people are coming from and coming to your site, whether they're typing it in directly or they're coming from social media or they're coming from organic traffic. And it's really important for you to know that. You need to know what you're good at right now. The best way for you to get more clients is word of mouth. That one's a tough one because that one is not something you can just throw money at. That is something that you can do if you really treat your customers like gold and you delight your customer and you give them the kind of transformation that you said you were going to get them. Once you have that and you have a good relationship with your customers, and then you ask for testimonials, you ask for reviews, and you can tell them, like, listen, I would love it if you could tell your friends about me, or you can even set up some kind of affiliate program where you can tell them, like, hey, if you get me customers, you can get X% of the sales. And then with the metrics, I want you to write everything down. I really want you to do monthly metrics because then you can see what's growing, right? Is your organic traffic growing? Is your word of mouth traffic growing? Is your social media, LinkedIn traffic growing? That's going to be really important for you. And you want to see that growth over time. Let's talk about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an underused tool. They did a recent algorithm change that really kind of lowered company pages, sucks, but increased personal pages. So for all of us building a personal brand, that's gonna mean that we're gonna show up more in feeds than we ever have before because of this company drop and personal going up. So thought leadership is super important there. First things first, fix your profile. Your profile needs to match what you're talking about. Be very, very clear who you help, how you help them, because that's the only way that LinkedIn is going to learn about you and also your customer once they start looking further into you. One of the things that I've been reading is that if a profile doesn't match, LinkedIn will not really help your posts out. So if your profile is that you're a salesperson, but your posting is all about gardening, that mismatch, LinkedIn's gonna be like, I'm not gonna show up those posts and I'm not going to put those higher. So you need to really make sure your profile is working correctly for you. Next up is content and what you're posting and how many times. I would love for you to post 5 times a week. That would be fantastic. 3 of those should be educational. 2 of those should be engagement posts where you ask questions, you tell people to save the post, tell them to download something, and then 1 post is the promotional post where you sell something. The best posting times, they will vary. Depends on where you're from, where you're at, what you're posting. So you really need to be looking at your analytics. If you're just starting out and you don't have analytics yet, then a good thing to do is to post Tuesdays through Thursday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday around 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Take that with a grain of salt because every profile is a little bit different. The format that's crushing it right now is when you ask questions. Don't ask too many questions and don't ask questions in every single post. But when you do ask questions and then you get engagement in your post in the comments, then your algorithm or the LinkedIn algorithm is going to hook you up and show you more often because they love engagement. So the more people actually comment on your post, the better it is for you. Another one that's working really well is the document post, which is the carousel post. And that's getting 1.6 more engagement and more reach than other posts. So it's really liking that. And for the company I work at, we do the same thing. Carousel posts do really, really well for us. That's something I want you to test out. And that's really what you're going to be doing all the time is testing, reading metrics, and then you optimize and see what works. But try the carousel posts, see if it increases your reach as well. And you can really easily do this in Canva. You don't need to be a designer for this. And honestly, you don't need hundred thousands of LinkedIn followers. I have about 10,000 and I get clients constantly from there. I get people coming to me. So you don't need all the followers in the world. You just need engaged followers, or you need followers that are watching you and they're just like, ooh, wow, she gets me. She really understands me and I can tell that she can help me. So yeah, I'm going to go reach out to her. Sales are mostly done in the DMs. I don't even know if I've ever put in a link and somebody bought something. It's always in the DMs where they're like asking me questions, I answer them, and then there's some kind of sales conversation happening, and then they buy from me in the DMs. Influencers is something that I did when I worked at Big Chill. We had these appliances like pink lemonade fridges and baby blue stoves, and people like Ryan Reynolds from Deadpool. Actually, we got it in one of the Deadpool movies, one of the stoves, and he bought, his wife bought. So big people were buying this. So it was kind of easy for us, but we had a bunch of influencers. For solopreneurs and people that are just starting out, you don't have that kind of money. So look at really tiny micro influencers. They really work. And what's nice, they actually get more percentage of people clicking through than the macro influencers. They get like 1 to 2% clicking through, and the micro influencers gets like 6 to 7%. So the micro influencers is a really cool way to go. So the way that you do that is like look at 5 to 10 micro influencers that have the same target audience, but they're not your competitors. So if you're a business coach talking about marketing, you can look at like maybe productivity coaches that only talk about productivity and then talk with them. You can either do a partnership, or you can just be like, hey, I'll pay you, and then can you be my micro influencer? You could do a product service swap or like a testimonial swap where you can give them something for free and then you ask them to write about it. You can do an affiliate deal where you give them a discount code to anybody that actually signs up through them. They get a discount and then you give them some kind of money. You could do small flat fee posts. So you can tell them like, hey, if you post X amount of time, I'll give you $500. And that's something that you would then figure out with a micro influencer. I've seen about $100 per post, $500 per post. It all depends on the industry and how many followers they have. But remember, micro influencers are small. They have like maybe 10,000 followers. I've been approached to be a micro influencer on LinkedIn. It was a product that I didn't align with, so I didn't do it because that's important to me. But they would have given me money if I did like a couple of LinkedIn posts. The last thing you can do is content collaboration. So again, if you're not competitors, but you have the same audience, you could go live together on Instagram. You can go live together on LinkedIn. You can write for each other's newsletters and that type of thing. And then a pro tip here is the content that they create, you can then put it on your blog and on your social media. So then people will be like, oh, wow, they work with these people and there's testimonials. And so it's really cool. So you can like repurpose that kind of content. And then YouTube, and the reason why I'm here on YouTube. So hear me out. YouTube is a long game. YouTube is a lot of work. It's a lot harder than Instagram. It's a lot harder than TikTok. It takes a lot more time. Here's the difference. You post something on TikTok or Instagram, and in 48 hours, it's gone. It's still there, but it's not getting served up anywhere. YouTube, you post something and 2 to 3 years later, it's still getting served up because people are doing searches on it. So it's a lot of work. It's a long game. But once you actually are in there for a couple of years, it will pay off. It's going to pay off more, I think, than Instagram and TikTok. And what's nice is with YouTube, you don't need fancy things. Like right now, I'm talking to you on a webcam, and that's good enough. I am using a nice mic because audio, believe it or not, even though it's a visual platform, audio is more important than video, because audio, if something just doesn't sound right, or it sounds hollow, or it just doesn't sound really good, people don't watch your videos. So do invest in a good microphone, but you don't need to invest in a good web camera. Once you get really big, then you can of course do that. But at the beginning, you don't really need to do that. I think for me, my first leads came in from YouTube after I posted about 12 videos. So I did 12 videos, and then all of a sudden I started getting leads in directly from YouTube. So again, long game, but that's okay. If you do one video a week, that's 12 weeks. If you can go faster and you can do 3 videos a week, which is what I recommend, then you can literally do that in like 4 weeks and start getting leads in. So start working on it. Again, long game, everybody's different. Some people will get like hundreds of viewers right away. Some people will only get 2. So it really depends on what you're doing. You just need to make sure your thumbnail is good, your title is good, and then the hook is good. And then the thing that I always preach about is that you need to have a lead magnet so you can grow your email list. The higher the email list, the more money you're going to make and the more clients you're going to get. So you have to really set up that system. I teach that system. I love doing that. It's basically just a funnel. You need to have that. You need to create something that people will want and download. And then that way you can talk about it. People then can click on it and it downloads something. They get a welcome email series and then you can start selling to them. The other thing you can do is text messaging, SMS. That is still working really well if you can capture phone numbers and you can do texting through there. You can't text too much. People will get annoyed, and it has to be like really good things that they will want to have, either a crazy sale or something, if you're an educational person, that it's so valuable that they're interested in actually looking at your text. So now go back into all the stuff I talked about. Pick one, only one. Do it for 30 to 90 days and just really just concentrate on that one channel and do it right for 30 to 90 days and see what happens. If it flops, then you go to the next channel. If it's amazing, then you optimize it, make it more, do it longer. So one thing I want you to stop doing right now, if you're not getting leads and if you're not getting sales, is stop doing everything everywhere. So if you are on like 3 or 7 different social media platforms, stop. Just pick one, pick the one that's doing the best, and then really hone in on that one, get good at it, and then get your leads, get your clients, and then you can always start a second one later. The next thing is stop waiting for perfection. Perfection will always kill your momentum. It doesn't need to be perfect. As a matter of fact, some people don't trust brands that are too perfect and everything is just perfect and flowery and overproduced. And lastly, don't worry about going viral, please. I hear this way too much, especially now that I started with YouTube and people are always like, oh, when am I going to go viral? What actually moves the needle is consistency. Because let's say you do go viral. So your 10th video or your 10th post goes viral, and that's all. That'll go away. That'll die out. And then you have nothing to show for. But with consistency, stuff that's not viral, but it gets more and more views over time, or people are coming to it on a regular basis, and then you establish trust, that is what actually lets you sell your product or your services. And I do want you to be realistic, right? You're not going to like post one LinkedIn post and get a bunch of buyers. You're not going to post consistently even on YouTube for 30 days and get all kinds of clients. Everything takes time and everything builds. These are all building blocks that stack and stack until then people start to know you. There's 3 ways you need to sell yourself. The first one is awareness. It's not the product, is awareness. You got to get out there and sell yourself. The second one is trust. Now that people are aware of you, they actually need to trust you. Because if they don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. And then the third thing is the sale. Are they actually going to buy your services? All right, now go execute. Execution is what a lot of people lack. They always want more strategy and they want more knowledge and they want everything here, but they actually don't execute. And execution is where you're going to make your money. Let me know in the comments, what's the first thing that you're going to do? I want to know what you're going to execute on.